Well, I think there's a difference in terms of values and identity, and on the one hand, but perhaps matters like economic performance on the other. There's a lot that binds the Visegrad countries, Poland, Czech Republic, Hungary, together. I think obviously this common sense of historical experience driven by the Second World War and the experience of communism, I think has sensitized these countries to values. These countries, the elites, the population still actually believe in things. They have a national identity. Some countries like Poland are very religious. There's a great sense of tradition and traditional values within society. And they also perceive the external world, relations with Russia, relations with Europe, relations with the United States in a very similar way. Perhaps a little Eurosceptic, perhaps a little suspicious of Russia, and certainly friendly disposed to. So there's a lot of commonality between the countries in a cultural sense. Economically, things, of course, are very different. Poland, over the last 3 to 5 years, has outperformed the other countries of the region hugely. And that's a result of some very short-term policies which were pursued by very different sorts of governments. As far as Poland is concerned, of course, Poland is ethnically compact, and I think this has made a great difference to its internal politics, certainly if you compare it with Slovakia. It doesn't have a substantial population abroad, unlike Hungary, which has also shaped Hungarian politics. And of course, there's a factor of religion. Polish Catholicism, but especially the authority of John Paul II after 1990, were very important factors in maintaining the cohesion of Polish society. So there are similarities, but there are also some differences. Well, the Polish transformation of 89 to 90, of course, had substantial differences. First of all, Poland had a ready-made alternate elite. The dissident opposition movement in the 1980s was very strongly developed, so it was very easy for the opposition to take power in 1989. What was different, of course, which was unlike the other countries of the region, that Poland didn't actually have free elections until 1991 to Parliament. And the entire reform process was actually carried out by a semi-democratic Parliament and a non-democratically elected government, which makes it very different from countries like Czechoslovakia, as it then was, or Hungary, where elections, fully democratic elections, came much more early on. And also the other important factor was that Poland had a true visionary at the head of its economic reform program, Professor Balcerowicz. Other countries didn't have that sort of economic vision, I don't think, and that perhaps made Poland much more advanced, much more quickly. As to what could have been done better, I think in retrospect, people do agree that Poland should have faced up to the issue of lustration and decommunization much earlier. When finally Poland did decide to deal with old secret police people and old ex-communists, it was much too late. And the public support wasn't there, and the benefits that would have come from actually encouraging a much more fresh and democratic elite to come to the top much more quickly was lost by that stage. So perhaps that's the biggest mistake in retrospect.